Welcome to Retirement with Jim. So today, some of the truths about Social Security. So before we get started, you like my channel? Please consider subscribing and hit the like button. It helps my channel grow. And along with that, feel free to leave comments. Love to hear from you. Okay, so let's get started. So some of the truths about Social Security. So before we actually get started, I want to give a shout out to my lovely wife. Today is her birthday. So I want to wish her a very happy birthday today. So the information came from Gallup polls. This is the source of the info. So according to Gallup, 3 in 4 people say they have enough money, for retirement. They're good. Some money saved. But yet 45% of future retirees say they are not okay. And they need more money. Quite a disparity there. The fear of Social Security not being there is really the thing that drives people to worry the most. So 58% say Social Security is a major source, of their income. But future retirees, they're only at 35% saying that in that belief that that major amount of money from Social Security will be, a large portion of their retirement. So, there's a big disparity, 35% versus 58%. And a lot of it has to do with, people that are looking, to retire. How comfortable are they with their outlook about Social Security, where it's at, how much of it is going to be there. So Social Security is predicted to be running out of money by 2034, with no change scheduled in place. That there would be then a 17% reduction in the amount of Social Security paid out to everyone. Now, it's the same story but a different timeline. In 1983, Social Security said they would run out of money by 1992, and that's what spurred Congress to act and make changes in the Social Security system. So, they stepped in to fix it. Now, they extended it with everything that they did. They extended Social Security by 50 years, from 1992 to run out to then not run out until 2034. They added 50 years. Now, they raised the tax, the employee tax of how much was of your percentage of your income was taxed going to Social Security, the wage increase. They also raised the income for what was considered high earners and wealthy back then. And of course, they changed, the biggest thing was they changed the age from 65, which is what it was set at back then, to 67. So, we hear all the hoopla about, oh my God, they're going to run out in 2034. And that's probably quite true without an adjustment. But the fact is, 70 million people are on Social Security. I find it hard to believe that 70 million people, that the government's just going to ignore that. Now, I know there'll be plenty of people who will disagree with me, but I believe that they are really going to have to do something. They can't let that happen. As many people say, it's political suicide. So, 20% of the people believe that the people that are about to retire, that they will need to work part-time, in retirement. But the reality is only about 3% of people that actually retire actually continue to work and earn money. So again, a lot of things are driven by fear. And to some degree, some things when they're fear driven, they push us to do different things, and they can be beneficial. But fear based is just really not the way for things to go. But that is what drives a lot of those thoughts and concerns. Um, the the biggest fear is that the most popular withdrawal rate is actually 2%. And that's due to people not wanting to run out of money. The average used to be like, they'd say the 4% rule, and people, had steadily driven that down to 3.7% was what the average was. But now as people have worried more about their money lasting, the average is actually far more conservative and is now hitting the 2% range, simply because people don't want to run out of money. So there's a lot of things that to take into consideration, but probably the most important out of all of that is changes are going to happen, and Social Security, like it or not, is a larger amount of people's what they're relying on. So people are relying on getting and needing Social Security in their retirement. People haven't saved as much. Things have, gone wrong in the course of their lifetime, and inflation, maybe stopping your contributions for a while due to, all kinds of things, job loss, suddenly needing more money at home for medical expenses or anything, buying a house. It's just a variety of things that have caused people to derail their savings plan. And that has caused people to be far more conservative, but has also caused people to be not as prepared. And that means that they're going to need to rely on Social Security in their retirement. More and more people are dependent on their Social Security. So a lot of thoughts on that. Let me know what you think. What's your opinion? Are they going to fix Social Security? Are they not? It's just kind of funny how that story goes in 1983, that by 92 it was out of money, and here we are looking at the same story, different timeline. So history does have a way of repeating itself. So let me know in the comments below, and I will see you in the next one.